Welcome to the Divine Mess, a sanctuary where the dance of the empowered masculine and the divine feminine unfolds in all its glory. Join us as we delve into the heart of these cosmic energies, exploring their attributes and the profound impact they have on our lives. From the raw power of the masculine to the nurturing embrace of the feminine, we uncover the balance that leads to a life of abundance and joy. Our hosts, Curdy Deva Perriman and Tina Ryan, are your guides on this spiritual journey who blend science with soul to offer practical wisdom for harnessing your divine energy. We celebrate the beauty and imperfection, embracing the chaos of life's journey as a catalyst for growth. The Divine Mess isn't just a podcast, it's a movement towards wholeness and self-expression. So come laugh with us, cry with us, and grow with us. Every episode is an invitation to explore the depths of your being and to live out loud, authentically, and unapologetically. Subscribe and join our community of seekers as we support each other in this extraordinary, messy adventure we call life.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of The Divine Mess. And if you are joining us for the first time, my name is Tina Marie and I'm a self-love coach, and I help women move through their second season of life with some ease and some grace and a great deal of joy. And as always, I am joined by my Mauritian-born, French-speaking, New Zealand-living, slightly unwell soul, Mr. Curdy David Perryman, who is the cosmic alchemist. And he is dealing with an energetic upgrade, shall we say, this week. So he is leaving the voiceover part to me. So if you feel like you need to transmute your fear into love, go check out the Golden Temple and see how he can be of assistance remotely and minus a voice at the moment. So today, super exciting. We have one of our special guests who have chosen to come back and share the couch with us again. So I will just give you a small hint to the surface of what Mr. Jacob can do. Mind you, I'm sure there will be more in our conversation today. So as a multi-dimensional being, Jacob is calm, and I can attest to that with the conversations that we've had, and he's aware of his humanness and his soulful expression, being in harmony with the joy of all of life. So cool. He's in touch with innate nature, within nature's natural rhythms, and he creates space for you to connect with this within yourself. He's also an amazing artist, draws some of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So you will need to check for his links to go get yourself a Jacob original when you have 5 seconds to spare. But besides all of that, let's just get into it, because it's nothing better than having a conversation. So welcome to the couch again, Mr. Jacob. It's so good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here and see you guys as well, and just come together and see where this journey takes us, this conversation. And yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your Divine Mess journey since we last spoke to you. What's been happening for you?
For me, mostly I'm into house sitting at the moment. So it's winter here in New Zealand, Aotearoa, and I'd been, spending quite a bit of time in my car in nature and visiting my mum in between. And I just felt like a bit of stability and warmth in some actual houses for a period of time would suit me quite nicely. So I've just had a 2 month sit, and that didn't actually have an animal. It was just a house. And then I had a 5 days break, and then just come into another 2 months sit in another part of the South Island. So it's a good way to just settle into a space, see a new area, and allow things to unfold, as the energies are doing that constantly.
So you're getting to share your magic with more people rather than being in one space. You're getting to sprinkle it all across the South Island of New Zealand. And how have you been
I mean,
finding the
I was
energy?
guided. I was guided to come to the bottom part of the South Island. Um, a few months ago, I really was enjoying the hot summer and thinking, I can definitely bathe in the sun all year long. Um, that spirit had a different idea for me, and yeah, so I just came. I just follow that. I believe that's the greatest place I need to be is where I'm guided. So I came down and did a bit of energy work on some ley lines and some areas and where I was, and there's some links from where I have been and where I visited to coming here, which has unfolded as I've moved around. I wasn't fully aware of those. Um, One of them is very closely interconnected with Matariki, which is the Māori New Year in New Zealand, which has just happened and goes for quite a period of time. It actually started last end of May, but the peak time was just last weekend, Thursday, Friday. Um, and that's the star constellation that's called the Pleiades as well. It's the same star system. And yeah, I don't know a lot about Matariki, but it's a potent time. And there's 9 stars this year. I think it changes from time to time, but around that number normally. And there was a map that was covering over the parts of the South Island, and it showed pretty much all the places I've been to are one of those stars. So yeah, it's pretty special.
So, um, for those that may not understand, if we can wind back a little bit, can you explain to us a little bit about ley lines and what your understanding of those are and how you help transmute negative energy within the ley lines, or is that how it works? If you can kind of explain the process, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, they're energetic centers and there's lines and they come to certain points where they meet other grid lines. And they often, yeah, they carry important potent energy, but they can be disturbed. So that can be, yeah, there can be many ways of why that's happened. So certain people like myself who are grid workers go to areas, and you can do it remotely as well, but it's also really nice to be there on site and clear the lines, and open the portals back up into their true nature. And then that enhances the field around it as well. And yeah, it can be different for everyone how we work. It can require more than just one person as well. Sometimes, that's the basis of working with the ley lines.
And obviously, apart from working in nature, what else has your journey to the South Island produced? What's been opening up for you that was unexpected?
I feel there's some areas, well, I haven't really explored this part of the South Island, even though I don't live too far away and I've always been a nature person. And yeah, I find it interesting that I haven't come to these areas, and also not because, yeah, everything's in divine timing and alignment and divine order. So yeah, it's that feels very perfect for me to be here now, and I feel it's reflective of my frequency and what I can what I'm into, because I really am very closely connected with Earth and the waters of Earth and purifying her as I purify myself as well. So coming here, there's been some areas where there's really high frequency energies. And, if I went before, I probably wouldn't have had a clue what they were. Whereas now I can feel them and sit with them and work with them. And one place is a 170 million year old petrified forest. So, so yeah, you can imagine what that could be like. I don't really have words, to be honest. I heard of it, I was aware of it, but on some level, not really. It's like, oh yeah, I'll go check it out, kind of thing. And I didn't realize how old it was. I just heard of a petrified forest, and it's right on the shoreline, so the ocean's washing across it as well, and you can see, yeah, all these different parts where trees have fallen over or they're still slightly standing, or there's a part in a stone and the rest is just looking like a stone. And yeah, I was there for hours, and I've never experienced anything like it, in my life. It was, the energies were, yeah, amazing, like so vast and yeah, just so full of information, but not overwhelming or, yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. It's just, you could just feel history there. You could, I can get visions sometimes and things like that, and see parts of what's happened in the past, but not fully, but more feeling, the feelings of the energies of it. I do have a piece here as well. I can show you if you wish. Yeah,
Yes, 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 definitely.
I'll just grab it. Okay.
When he was talking about the petrified forest, I was thinking of like the forbidden forest, like from
I was thinking of Dave and
of
Dave
Harry
putting his
Potter.
hands on the petrified forest and seeing what
Yeah,
would come of that.
I was thinking of Harry Potter as well, mixture with Dave. We had another guest,
Mm.
like I was telling you, the Tai Chi master from Timaru, like, and
Mm.
he does that energy work with trees. So when you were telling, I know you told me about the petrified forest, but my mind goes immediately to the forbidden forest from Harry Potter. So it's like that magical forest, and it keeps going there. So I will leave you to show the piece that you from the forest.
Yeah, cool. So actually, this piece. So when I went to where the petrified forest is, I never felt like taking the piece. I thought about it and thought, oh, it'll be amazing. And when I went to and I held a piece, I was like, no, I really don't feel like taking a piece at all. And I wasn't sure even whether you're allowed. I didn't see any signs at that point. So anyway, I held a few and I went, no, I actually feel like not having any. So, and I just said, if I'm open, so if I'm meant to have one, it'll come. But I'm really happy just to be here and not have one. And as soon as I did that, a piece ended up in my hand. It's quite small. I actually don't have it right here, and I don't remember picking it up. Like I know I would have, but I don't remember the journey of, oh, there it was or anything. It just happened to be in my hand. And so I brought that home. But this piece was actually at the other place where the most southern point of the South Island that I went just recently to. And it's also got part of the petrified forest, but it's not as well known and there's not many pieces. So I just saw a few things. But what was sitting waiting for me was this piece. I don't know really.
Yeah, because that's where you can start to see all the crystal development where it's turned from something,
Like that's
that the tree, and then it merges and becomes crystalline in its nature. They're so beautiful, and
yeah,
particularly when you see slices of petrified wood where you can actually see the rings of the timber, and you can see all where the crystals have kind of grown in between the fibers of the timber. It's an amazing piece of nature. If you're destined to have one, they're incredible pieces to have.
yeah, for
And that one
sure.
just landed in your pocket, did it, Jacob?
Well, it doesn't quite fit in my pocket, but it was actually sitting in a really obvious place. Like it was interesting because I was walking and then I found a piece and I was like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't feel to have it. So I put it sitting up on this other big stones where it was kind of obvious where someone could enjoy it if they came along. And then as I carried on walking, because I didn't know that the weather forecast was really bad. And I asked, could it be okay? Because I wanted to go. And I just, 9 o'clock in the morning, went, oh, it's still, I'm just going to go down there. And I was kind of thinking, oh, I may not be here for long, or because it was meant to snow and big front coming through from the Arctic. So, um, and so I just went for a wander, and then I just saw this bit to the side and went, oh, maybe I can go down there, and then oh, maybe I can go there, and I just went on and on and on and further climbing, and then yeah, came across this piece, and it was just sitting kind of up in the open, like going, hey, over here.
And do you find when you do the work with the ley lines, do you get attracted to, obviously natural stone and crystal and the petrified wood like you've found? Or is it
Not
more a question of
necessarily.
asking for it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I tend to go to special places anyway, so there's always some degree of pureness and beauty and high frequency. Um, but yeah, not always. And sometimes I don't feel like I do anything. I don't know, like I just get drawn to somewhere, and sometimes I just sit. I don't actually do any energy work knowingly to myself, but then you can feel the energy's changed, or I might meet someone or talk about something, or something might come in a post, and I'm like, oh, okay, I was at that place. It's quite special, or yeah. So I don't always know why I'm guided to certain places, and yeah, but there's not always treasures there waiting for you as such. It can be kind of near farmland, or yeah, that can be anywhere really, actually.
And for you,
And
like
have you
your
found oh, go on, sorry, Dave.
thank you. But for you, like your guidance, is it like through auditory for you especially, or is it like a visual thing, or you just get that urge to go to that place?
Yeah, it's clear cognizance for me is my strongest sense. So that's clear knowing. So, and sometimes when I refer to that, I say, oh, I got told, or I heard a voice, and it's like someone said, blah, 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 but that doesn't actually happen. That's clairaudient, but that's what it feels like, and you hear the call to go somewhere, but there wasn't actually a voice. It's just a real knowing. Yeah.
And when you're working with the ley lines, do you feel like it's your multi-dimensional being that's doing that inner work, like that working with the ley line? That's how you feel, or
Yes. Yeah, totally.
okay? Because for me, what I heard about the ley line, it's like it was the dragon, according to Diana Cooper. She said like it was the dragon who installed the ley lines on Earth. Do you resonate with that as well, or do you feel it's something else for you?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that totally resonates. I feel the dragons are very important. They're very much protectors of Earth, and these ley lines have these purposes as well. So um, often, I do have a dragon crystal that I work with as grid work, not just for good working, but a friend of mine activated it, and she was actually doing a course, and I was just there, and she started talking about the dragons that she had, and she showed one, and I went, um, yeah, that's my dragon. I meant to have that dragon. And she was like, oh yeah, yeah, it is coming to you. So after a while it came to me, and so I work with that. Yeah. So, and within us as well, especially those who are here to really work closely with Mother Earth have that dragon energy within us. So we have our own dragons that we work with as well. So, and I mean, you could share probably more about that as well, David. Um, you have your dragon.
Yeah, you mean like the army of dragons. That's why they are upgrading me that much, I think. It's just the dragon energy. But I'm interested because in terms of like the energy work that you do, I know like going in forest, and I had this experience with you. Like we went for a walk in the forest, and you will just happen to, like stop at a tree and just start channeling this light language. But with the piece that you showed us, did you feel that there are any messages that was meant for you or for the humanity or like human consciousness that came through?
This piece I haven't really sat with yet. Yeah. So because I've just been traveling the last few days and I've kind of just arrived at this new place and sometimes it takes me a while to arrive. So I like to go through that process and do what I need. Um, and I've got a beautiful, joyful dog here, and we're walking 2 or 3 times a day, and so that's another energy to to work with and to harmonize with each other as well, which is happening straight away, but there's still the energetics of coming into someone else's house, setting myself here and all that. So I haven't really spent any real time with this beautiful piece. I mean, when I cleaned it, because it was quite sandy, um, yeah, I felt some potency of its existence. And other than that, I haven't had a message like similar to what you're asking, not as yet. Yeah, yeah.
And simply because we had another fabulous guest who talked about dragons, and I know this lights my dear friend up so much, can you share a little bit about yours? And our last guest talked about sense of humor and the energy work that he helped her do. She said that she utilized hers to do the work. Like she was just simply the conduit that the energy came through when she was working with clients or to help souls pass onto, the next level of their journey and helping them find their human version, finding the light and then going on. How does yours help you?
Yeah, good question. For me, the dragon is it's a amethyst dragon, so it works strongly with the violet ray, which is transformation and transmuting energies. So I also here because I've chosen to experience some traumatic experiences, especially in my childhood and youth and things, and so I know how to work with those energies, and I feel my dragon's assisted me more than what I've been aware of. So the dragon knowingly came through just in more recent times, and so it's a companion, yeah, to work with those heavy density energies, whether that's through myself or with when working with someone in a session or working with the land and the waters of earth. So yeah, I feel that's the most potent part of the dragon energy for me so far. And again, that protector, that warrior, but you're a peaceful warrior. But we need to go out there and walk the path. Not sit in our caves and hum and om and and all that. That I mean, it has a purpose. But now it's really about being seen. And the dragon energy helps you have the courage as well. Yeah.
Okay. Especially, I feel like this year is the dragon year. So according to Chinese astrology, it's the dragon year. And I feel that's what it's being awakened in people now, and it's being noticed more and more and acknowledged more and more, the dragon energy. But for you, like over your lifetime, this lifetime, I would say, was it difficult to accept your gift? Was it a challenge?
I feel for all of us, there's a challenge because, as we purify ourselves and we work through our densities and get more in touch with our innate nature and our purpose, we also have a lot of past lives come forward. And even if you're not aware of them, you get feelings, and a lot of us have walked in love and light and been crucified and persecuted and murdered and tortured and all sorts of things. So um, yeah, it's those things still arise, at times. I see myself going really like putting myself out there and then whirring back and going a little bit to the side and and things like that. So that is a journey to say yes, on some level. I also say yes more than what I realize because a lot of things for me are quite natural and I don't really see them as a gift. They're just an expression of myself and this is just how I am. And I think especially when I was younger, it's like, isn't everyone like this? Um, so yeah, there's those two, yeah, kind of polar opposite aspects to um really owning your journey. And it unfolds as well. You come to areas and you think, oh yeah, this is it. This is how it is. This is how I express myself or what I do. This is a thing that feeds me and helps me more in my heart. And at some point that just leaves, and because every time you get to a place, it's like you just open up another door, and then because the possibilities are endless, we're infinite beings, so it's infinite. Infinite's infinite. So yeah.
Because in the David knows I'm reading Conversations with God, and I'm in the second book at the moment, and they were talking about time not being linear and that you can experience many lifetimes all at the same time. So when we have like that precognition that something is going to happen or you feel a little bit awkward in a space, it's because the future you has already experienced it and it's kind of sending you a little bit of like, oh, you might want to sidestep that person, or oh, this place isn't necessarily too good for you. Or in the past, it's this whole concept that you can be so many things all in the present moment, and that all of these lifetimes and all of the journeys of your soul all come into the present moment where you get to experience this lifetime with all of that knowledge, both from past lives and future lives, and they all sort of slam into one, but it depended on how open you are to recognizing those things about yourself. And much like you say, those innate characteristics that I can just do that. I can't explain to you how I can do that. I can just do that. And it must be like that, I would feel, for you to walk in, you're being guided somewhere, but it's like, oh, sure, I've been here before. Do you get that when you're going into these new spaces that you're being guided to go to?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes I've before I've kind of walked in, I've gone, oh, I've been here before, have I? And then I go, okay, so if you think you've been here before, what does it look like? What happens? And if I catch it, I can stop and really go through all that and then walk through the door, like if I'm going to a house or something, and I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what I envisioned. And the meeting, oh yeah, I remember having those conversations or that conversation and things like that. Um, yeah, definitely. There's one stream of consciousness, and we can be on it anywhere and everywhere and multiple places at once for sure. We're dimensional beings, multiverse. There's endless ways of talking about all that, and yeah, it's for me, it's the biggest thing that can help is just to bring that all to this present moment, to know that, okay, well, I am here on earth and it's this time now, and this is the most important thing. So, how can I bring all those to this moment in this body? Because this body is the most important body, the body of earth that we walk on, the human body that my vessel is incarnated in, and how can I be present with this moment? Otherwise, you start to get, yeah, like this, you can get really disorientated, or lose a lot of energy because your energy's just spread out everywhere and you're not aware of it and things like that. So, I have tools to bring my self back to center. Sometimes I go, oh, where's my energy? Okay, quick, come back now. Come into this body in this present moment. Do some breathing or something like that, because you can get, pulled in all sorts of directions. Or I often have, especially on my right side, my upper right side, I have a vision. I see something, and it's taken me a while to learn to not go, because as soon as I do that, it's gone. Because what's happening is it's another reality presenting itself. And if I just stop and just stay calm and observe it without looking at it, I can stay in it, and I can see some things happening. It's quite fascinating.
And with your, it's probably winding back time a little bit, with your journey in the very beginning, how did it start, or how did it manifest for you to sort of begin this incredible spiritual walk that you're on? What did it look like for you when you kind of went, oh, okay, yeah, I don't have to sink into the hamster wheel of humanity. There are other ways of dealing with things. What did that look like for you? Or did you have a catalyst, like a mentor or somebody that came in and went, wake up, there's more that you need to be doing? What did it look like? I've just got a curiosity.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few parts to that. So I feel I always had that natural ability to step out of the norm. I didn't really resonate with things, but I mean, there were some difficult times, of course, but I didn't bang my head against it. So I'm not anti-society, I know I'm still a part of it. It's still, and there's ways of it can serve me on my journey. So through my journey, I found ways of not working at times and just going skiing overseas or going hiking into the mountains, saving money to do those things, give myself a break away from everyday life. And I had a lot of assistance with, a so-called imaginary friend when I was very young and things like that. And um, yeah, just different things on reflection as I became aware of conscious living, that was always there through my life. And the main catalyst for me was I had a bit of a change in my life. I was sick of the drugs and the alcohol and the partying and the what looks like a good life, and I didn't really know how to get away from it. And I would move towns and go, I'm just okay. I'm going where I don't know anyone, and well, I'd just instantly meet the same people and things like that. But I did start to have a real shift in myself. The drinking had slowed down. I didn't enjoy the weed actually. I started to become paranoid and things like that. I'm not talking about mid to late 30s. And I started to recognize family was important to me. And then I was looking at moving in with a friend back in my hometown, which I never saw myself living there. And then he died. He died in a motorbike accident 2 weeks before Christmas, and I was coming down at Christmas time to live with him and his family. So over the next few months, I had difficulty dealing with that, and one day I just broke down. I just was at work. My boss was difficult. I responded in a bad way and then freaked out, and then I cried. I just cried and cried and cried. And then I just got up and said, okay, what are you going to do about this? And what is life actually about? They were the two questions I asked. And instantly, yeah, I got a numerology reading online, even though I was a little bit skeptical. But I always loved numbers, and why not? Let's just do it. And then I went to a place and got a clairvoyant reading, which I cancelled the first time I went to go to the place. I booked it for the weekend and went, yeah, nah. And that clairvoyant Karen, she was an amazing reader, because she didn't say, okay, on April the 3rd you'll meet your partner and anything like that. It was very invitational, and I was still a part of it. And yeah, so many. I can tell you because I just somehow trusted in the guidance and talking with my guide straight away. She said Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael are your two main guides, and yeah, there was others that came along but I just trusted in my feeling. So I drove somewhere where I didn't know where I was going, and I could see my old ways wanting to go, oh, I'm going to get that job because I need some money, and then going, oh no, actually that's not stepping out of the norm. Okay, and I would speak really honestly with the person who was interviewing me, and they go, oh, you're actually overqualified for this job. We can't give it to you. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. And then just being open, and then finding someone actually. What was said in my clairvoyant reading was, when you are around people who seem strange, speak up. And strange is not your everyday person. So I came to this, what was it, like a gallery, so an art place where people were known as hippies lived. And there was this one guy in his dreadlocks and his, leathers and felt outfit and hat on and all that. And he just looked up at me and went, hey, bro. And I just had this feeling like, oh, this is someone that's not normally in my life, strange. And he said, can I help you or something like that? And I just had this moment where I remembered that in the reading, and I just stopped, and then I went, yeah, I'm actually looking for where I'm meant to be. And that's just not something I would ever say. But in that moment, it was perfect. And it just led from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. And, I can tell you incredible guidance through listening to that inner voice and honoring it and allowing it to be so. And yeah, and I've just been in amazing places through that.
It's interesting though, for the amount of people that probably fight that inner voice 99.9% of the time, and then wonder why things are not going in the general direction where they would like it to be, their life, relationships, circumstances. It's that control factor that no one's willing to essentially get on the bus of life and trust that the driver is going to get them where they need to go. But it seems that you have mastered the art of surrendering to your inner voice and getting on board the bus or the train, or however you would like to visually interpret it. Platform 9 3/4, just get on, because wherever you're going, it's going to be somewhere miraculous. Do you have any advice for those people that are struggling to trust that inner voice? Is there something simple that they can begin to listen and almost test it, like to go, am I doing this in the right way?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just had it on the nail. Just to notice little things, like just to give it a go, like just go, okay, I had this feeling about not to go to this party. Usually I would go to the party. So I kind of feel not to, and I could make all sorts of stories of why not to go to the party, but actually maybe there's something that I'm not aware of. So let's just not go and see what comes from it, just reflect. So and maybe something happened at the party and you go, oh well, if I was there I wouldn't have liked that, or and whatever it is. Or while you were home you had a phone call from someone you hadn't heard from ages, and this conversation fed you, and that's what you needed to hear that night, and you're like, wow, I'm really nourished by just staying home tonight, or a program, and there was just one sentence within what you watched that really triggered something or ignited a spark or something, So I, the biggest thing is to reflect on those things and then really honor them in the sense of acknowledging them, because we're very good at getting caught in the things that didn't happen well for us, and talking about those stories and noticing those things and all that. But there's a lot of times where things really work for us, but we don't tend to put as much energy into them. So, you know, you want to grow muscles, you go to the gym. You want to grow your socket muscle, acknowledge it, recognize when it's there and feed it because it will grow, you know. So I think that when you're really not sure how to follow those things, I think that's a good start anyway. And journal as well. Like for me, I had a period when I was journaling, and the classic one was I had a couple of questions in my life that I was wanting the answers for, and I decided to go for a reading, and I had a reading, and I think they came up in there. I can't really remember, but after that reading, I was going through my journaling and reflecting on it. So journaling's like just when you first get up in the morning, write down 3 pages of whatever. Just even go, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write, and then and and not, you know, be mental about it. Just feel and flow and scribble whatever. And I reflected on my journaling, and the answers to those 2 questions were in my journaling.
And did you
Of course they
realize?
were.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
No,
Go.
I was just saying, of course they were.
Yeah.
I
Gone
was
deep.
just curious because at the start, not at the start, earlier when you were telling your story and you had that catalyst, the main catalyst, and you also yourself 2 question, like what am I going to do about it and what's my life about? Have you managed to answer those questions now, do you feel?
For that moment when I asked those questions, yes. However, it's ongoing, isn't it? You know, what's life really about? Who am I? You know, those big questions. The essence of me is love, unconditional love. I'm an expression of that. I have my own authentic blueprint, template, whatever you want to call it. Do I know what it is? You know, how it feels, how it looks? No, because it's unfolding, you know, it's evolving. Get presented an aspect of myself, and this is me for this moment. And then, as I said before, you know, something else opens up, another part of it comes in, and then you might have a bit of I don't know what to do, and I feel a little bit off, and I was in the flow before, and what's happening? But it's just you evolving, and it's like working through our stuff. You know, can go 2 or 3 years where you didn't have an emotion that you used to have often, but you did a lot of work on, and then all of a sudden it presents itself. It's like, yeah, of course it would, because as you raise your frequency, you come to a place where you haven't worked on it at that frequency. So it's just actually showing you that you're evolving. You know, that's the beauty of it. And as you evolve, you get more tools, and you know how to work with things and work through things a lot quicker or easier, you know. Um, but it doesn't mean it's all rainbows and unicorns, you know. Um, it's a journey, and it is. I feel we are shifting from all that. You know, we are moving out of duality and dark side of our showing it so strongly, and having to go through all those things, and you know, working with karma and all that. Those things are all disappearing. You know, we're really shifting into a place of love and harmony and bliss and joy and creative expression, being playful, what we're really truly about.
And have you found that with this journey that your art has really changed, like in terms of where it started to now where it's evolved to, or have you just seen it deepen or intensifying in the same style in which you started out?
My art was that?
Yeah, your art.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's way different to what it was. And I was very realist. Actually, I liked being realist when I was at school. Um, and I love pencil drawings, and I also loved mathematics and tech drawing. But I didn't. Now it's kind of like I brought all those things together, but because the sacred geometries come into it, and um, the frequencies of them are purposeful. So for the collective, for an individual. Um, and I noticed in the times that I started to do like these come through, first it was like light language. So I'd be like writing, but it's, writing light language. And there wasn't many images. And then some images started to come in. And then there was some geometry or some balance within it. But, and it was all with black pens on white paper. And then from there was some black pens with a little bit of color, and then a little bit more color, and not so much black pens, or just doing outline. And then from there I went to black paper, and I'm using metallic and gel pens with gold and silver and things like that. And then shapes come in, and I all of a sudden using a ruler and a compass and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely has evolved and changed. And that's just a reflection of ourselves, of my journey as well, and what I'm sensing and feeling. And like I often get a visual of, especially a drawing, like a geometry one or something similar to that. And I had one where I had no image at all, like I was actually on a retreat in the forest hut, and I was looking at the ocean, and then I noted the boat, and it was a real calm day, and there was a wakes coming out, really strongly out the back of the boat, and I noticed that, and then all of a sudden there was a line. I don't know how it even got there, but it was kind of parallel to the beach. And I just saw, oh, it's like a perfect triangle. And then I just got, you need to do a drawing with triangles. And I'm like, okay. And the next day, I think it was, I didn't have an image, and I just got down, and it's, yeah, super precise. Every triangle was very precise, the color, the size of it, the shape, where it was. Yet I didn't see anything. I didn't know what I was doing, and it was one of the easiest drawings I've done. It just went, and it was only triangles. I mean, the base was a diamond, actually, a gold diamond, and then just triangles and lines. There's nothing else in it, and it's super powerful. I worked with it. It was for me personally, and I worked with that energy for months.
Like, I'm curious to know, like, what are your thoughts on, because you said like sacred geometry, like how can people use it for, I know you can use it for manifestation or healing. Do you use sacred geometry as well to manifest or for healing or something more?
Yeah, I mean, um, I don't put intention into this is I want to manifest something. What drawing could assist me? I haven't explored that so much. However, I feel while I'm looking to manifest something, a drawing comes through. So it's kind of like that, and same with like healing, assisting. So how I work with energetics in general is to remove trauma and activate what's lying dormant within us. And I feel the drawings do that as well. So often, a lot of the drawings I do, um, when I share them, I don't put words with them because they speak to each individual differently. I do hear, oh, well, that's perfect. This has done this. It's just exactly what I needed. And someone will say, that's exactly what I needed, but the description of the way it's talking to them is very different than that other person, and that's the beauty of them, because they speak to us on a very deep level, on a subconscious level, and things that we're not conscious of as well. So they work through helping us to manifest and heal. Yeah, and when I do individual ones, then I go into that person's energy field, and then just open myself and connect with them and their higher self, and then bring through what's for them and their higher self. And that's it. Yeah, and whether it's for manifesting or healing, I don't yeah, so much. It's just whatever wants to come through to assist them.
We are fighting over who will speak first. Tina is telling me in like the Mauritian way, the way you did it, it means like go. The way you wave at me. So I was like, okay, I have to go now. I'm just kidding. So for me, it's like for today, it's just beautiful, like you sharing about, like I seen your artwork, I seen because I remember the first time we met in person, you showed me one of your pictures, and I remember you said I was telling you how I was feeling and what I was seeing, and I remember you telling me like, yeah, it speak differently to each person. And I'm just curious, like for you, when as a energy healer, or if I may put it that way, that you're working with another person, like you said, like you connect with another person, higher self. For you, do you have like a specific step-by-step process, or is it like you just surrender to the process and you just connect with the other person energy?
Yeah, it is like that. I mean, for me, along my journey, I learned to ask permission.
Mhm.
Um, so when I connect with someone and they say they want a drawing from me, that's giving permission. And I might still ask, so do I have permission to do a drawing for you? Because I've had things in the past where I'm getting that call and that feeling, and I feel I have permission, through that. But actually, I need to ask. And I had a possum one time. I just did my Reiki too, and this possum. I went for a walk in the park in between afterwards on my way home, and I came across a possum with a broken leg, and instantly I went, "Oh, well, here's a possum with a broken leg. I've just done my Reiki too. I can give it a healing." And I started to give it a healing, and nothing was happening, and I was like, "Oh." Not sure what's going on. So I went for a walk and I came back and I said, if it's there, then I can give it a healing. So I put a little thing in there, and then I went to give it a healing again and nothing was happening. And then so I stopped and I kind of just asked, um, so something, nothing happening here. What's happening? And the possum said, yeah, because you didn't ask permission. And I went, oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I didn't ask permission. You're right. Can I give you a healing? No, no, this is my journey. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And that was my lesson, that was my learning. Um, so with the drawings, it's like that, asking, getting permission, and then once I have permission, I can just tune in. I just feel into that person's energy field. So I get into a good space myself, bring my higher self through, and then feel into that. And I might get something straight away, or I might just have to start drawing, and then it comes through. I've really ever had a full visual of a full drawing. Like there's often a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm not quite sure what to do here, and I might have to put it down for a day or two, or something like that. And that's just a collective drawing, not necessarily a personalized drawing. Um, yeah, for actually, it hasn't happened so much like that with personalized drawings. It's more the collective ones, and I can see there's a part of me that's go, oh, I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to just put that thing there. And that's probably a story or something, that happened in a past life. Like um, I did a carving for a retreat center for a labyrinth, and then it had a description at the bottom of it saying, what was it? Walk in bare feet or your socks and honor the silence or something like that. And I was like, okay, the guys asked me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And then I just had this voice say, there's gonna be a mistake. And I went, what? And it's like, there's going to be a mistake. There's going to be a mistake. Like, okay, that's interesting. So I went to someone else, like one of the managers there, and I said, okay, I've got to do the labyrinth sign, what does it say? So I asked her, so she wrote it down on a piece of paper. So I was like, okay, well, I have the piece of paper. I just need to look at it and read it properly. So I carved it out, the labyrinth, and then I carved out the description, and I wrote it in pencil and I looked at it. And then, I checked it like I believe many times, and then I carved it and checked it again. And then I painted it white and checked it again. Like every time I did something, I checked it and I checked it. And then I oiled it all up and I totally finished it. And then I stood it up and looked at it and went, what? I've written silence with like SILIENCE. So I put an extra I in it. It's like, how's that even possible? And then I was showing a past life, and there was something for me. I mean, I can't remember it all now, but it was really powerful. Like it was about me, my own self-expression and not following the laws and let's say and things like that. But yeah, it was amazing. And I was able to fix it in the end. But yeah, it was a fascinating journey. It was. So I don't remember how I got onto that, why I got onto that. But
Learning that everything has a time and a reason and a space for it to happen for us to reveal the next doorway or window to climb through, whichever way you wish to look at it. But before we wrap up today, is there any last messages that you have for our audience today that you would like to share with us?
find your joy. Yeah, I mean, it's really important now to be in joy because there is a lot happening on the planet and there is a lot of challenges in everyday life. So just find those things that bring you in a place of joy because joy is a very high frequency. When I'm sure there's some people would have had really difficult childhoods, but for most, there's times in our childhood where we would have remembered we would just enjoy, we're just self-expressing, being creative, playful. We're allowed to do that as an adult, totally, totally okay, more than okay to do that as an adult. So whatever it is, just find those things that bring you in a state of joy and be grateful for what you do have because gratitude grows and yeah you can shift your life if you're having difficult time. There's always someone out there, there's always people who will listen to you, be there for you. We've just got to open ourselves up to receiving the beauty of who we truly are because we're all amazing and you're all beautiful and loving and deserving. Don't usually use that word so much, but yeah, you can resonate with what I'm saying with that we have the right, it is our birthright to just enjoy life and to be vibrant and abundant and free, and it's all possible. So yeah, find your joy.
Well, that is the most delightful way to finish off an episode. And my co-host is raising his eyebrows and agreeing and shaking his head because he's in monk mode today, in Buddhist monk mode of practicing a vow of silence because he's getting a voice upgrade, I think. So I will, excuse me, wrap up our session today with our usual. We love you. Thank you so much for sharing your most precious resource, which is your time with us on the couch. And our delightful friend Jacob, thank you so much for coming back and having a conversation with us. And thank you to my dear friend for allowing me to chat more often. Because, we love having conversations and having all of our beautiful people that come via the divine mess to share their light and their love and their energy. We thank you so very, very much for that. And until next time, as Jacob said, find some joy in the simplest things. So until then, take care and we wish you love and peace and happiness. Thank you so much.
Thank you.